everybody. Welcome back to Arsenal X, the Xbox podcast here on the Boss Rush Network. I am your host, Corey Deering, and alongside me, as always, is the wise Wisconsinite, Mr. Jesse Douglas.
How's it going, everyone?
Also joining us.
When is it going to be Sir Jesse Douglas?
What do you mean, when's it going to be Sir Jesse Douglas? He's not English. He's not a knight.
Yeah.
Oh, sporty, I'm Sir Jesse Douglas.
What name is Sir Jesse Douglas?
I got my
What
piggy
kind
out.
of backcountry accent is that? Jeez.
I got my piggy out with my Ecto Cooler beer. It tastes so good.
What are you drinking, mate?
I don't even know if I can continue. Stoy and Stephanie are here also. Hello, guys.
Hey.
Hey,
I
I
couldn't-
finally made the rounds.
You
I've
did.
been on Nintendo Power Block, Crossroads, and now I'm here. I'm a real gamer now.
Yeah, you're a real gamer. This is the real show. This is the only show that matters. Except for the
Exactly.
one that you and I both host on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So
Do we have a patch for that? Like, like in the Boy Scouts when you achieve different goals, you get a patch
Yeah.
you can sell.
you get a I don't know. We don't have a button or anything to give you. It's like an up where you have to find like a bottle cap to just, safety pin on.
All right.
Hey, it's something.
Yeah, it's fair. How's everyone's weekend going? Good? Good?
pretty good.
I spent a lot of money this weekend.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Doing
Where?
what, Stoy?
Yeah, I was at the Midwest Gaming Classic this weekend.
nice.
And yeah, I'm looking at my stack right now, and it's a decent stack. Like it's like an old school like retro game event, and they have a bunch of vendors like selling old games. And let me tell you, the last year and a half, like old games have skyrocketed.
Mm-hmm.
I
Price.
can imagine there's like hundreds of reasons why. Like Sega Saturn is like games are hugely expensive for some stupid reason. Like even like sports games. Like sports games are just dollar games.
It's
like, they
because the Sega Saturn is the emulation isn't there. And so the best way to play Sega Saturn games are to buy the hard copies, and people are really realizing that now.
yeah,
So
I guess that makes sense. Well, I ended up getting my Polymega system in the mail last week, and that was that actually is a CD-ROM, so I could play PlayStation games, Sega CD games, Sega Saturn games, TurboGrafx games. So like I can actually play a lot of these games. So that's why I was like, oh, let me look for Sega Saturn games, and finding out like FIFA International Soccer is worth $20. Like what? No.
I think I got rid of them. I was gonna say I used to have a bunch of Saturn games I could have just sent you, but
I'll take
I think
them.
I sold them. I think, but if I didn't sell them, I'll send them to you. It's
Okay.
like I do have FIFA Soccer for Saturn. I have Tomb Raider, Sonic CD, Hook.
Hook.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, it's funny because like you saying that, like I remember trying to sell sports games, and a lot of times they'd be like, yeah, we don't need that. We've already got like 500 copies of it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, yeah, if it's like Sega Genesis or Super Nintendo, those games are just like $1 a piece. Like people just want to give those away. But and actually, interestingly enough, if you like, say for example, if you want like nicer Sega Genesis cases, that's what you buy. You buy those
yeah, you buy the sports games.
Yeah, just for the case. That's basically
Yeah.
what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know what else you can never sell and get any money back? Any of the Just Dances.
Nope.
Yeah.
It's fair.
Nope.
Biggest mistake in my life.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't buy Just Dance. Stop supporting it. Stop it.
I only bought it once, and that was a mistake I will not repeat.
Well,
It's
in
actually
my
funny.
opinion-
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna just say, in my opinion, the worst thing they did was that whole like paid service to get their songs.
Yeah.
It's so expensive. Like they could have been reasonable with that, but they just charge way too much. It's
How
way
much do they charge per song?
No,
I think it's a monthly subscription.
Yeah.
Oh God, what?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
here's the thing. Like, I, for example, don't usually buy Just Dance. So I was an unknowing consumer, probably like most of the people that buy their games, because I wanted to get it for like my cousins that were in their teens. So I'm like, oh, they're into that TikTok shit and this is great or whatever. And it was my way to like connect with them. And then when I bought the game, I realized it only came with like 10, 15 songs. And then if you want the full library, you have to pay a monthly subscription. So I'm like,
Yeah.
You know
and
what
I
the
nearly
secret
threw my
is?
back out.
You know what the secret is?
What?
You pick what song you want, pull it up on YouTube, and you dance to it. I mean, you're
Oh.
doing the same damn thing. It's
Yep.
the same damn thing. I mean, it's just a video of the song it telling you how to do it.
Yeah, but
Because
don't
most
you get
times,
graded? I've never
Yeah,
played
you
Just
got
Dance,
cool,
so I don't.
funky avatars in neon colors. Whoa!
yeah, but most of the time, like certain consoles, like the sensor stuff doesn't even really read it that well, anyways.
Yeah.
So it's just you might as well just watch the videos on YouTube and try to do the dance. I mean,
I missed the Connect with Dance Central.
All right.
Or
Well,
you
we're
could turn
giving Just Dance way too much attention.
you could turn on Fortnite and just watch all the emote dances, right, Jesse?
Yeah, there you go.
Yep. I've got like I think like 130 characters by now on Fortnite unlocked.
Are you okay, Jesse? Are you trapped? Are you like
Well, what it
blink
is
twice if
there
you need
hasn't
help?
there hasn't been a good like FPS like a multiplayer that's came out in a while that I've been actually excited for. So I've been stuck just playing that because it's easy.
Jesse, you could just not play Fortnite. You know that, right?
Yeah, and
You could
usually
like
do.
not.
I usually do play all stuff instead, but
Don't play it.
There's a little
Sometimes-
game on GamePass called Halo that you could also be playing right now.
Yes.
In preparation for their new title. I don't know if you've heard of it. Halo Infinite is coming out.
Sir
in less
Jesse,
than a
there
month.
are like plenty of other games that you can play on your systems.
Yeah, but it's none of
Just
them
FYI.
are free to play where I can play with anyone and they don't have to buy something or whatever.
False. Apex Legends. Call of Duty Warzone.
Yeah, but that game
I'd
sucks.
actually more recommend that. I actually enjoyed Apex Legends.
I can't stand it because they don't have a solo mode. It's
Poor
got to
Jesse.
have a solo mode or I don't
Here
care.
he is complaining that he can't play with anybody, and now the one I recommend him, he's like, it doesn't have a solo mode. I can't play by myself.
I know, but that's because I play solo first so I can get good at the game, and then I'll play with friends when I want to play multiplayer.
Oh, all right.
It's okay,
Fine.
Jesse.
I'll be honest.
Fine.
Sometimes I go back and I just play blackout mode instead.
That was fun, though. To be fair, Blackout was fun.
Yeah, it's like I still argue that like Warzone just sucks compared to that because they took the whole like idea of Call of Duty and then they mixed in that little bit of fun that exists in the Fortnite game and they kind of put the two together and it didn't take itself seriously and it was just fun to play and now Warzone is just way too serious.
It's all right.
I just couldn't get. I just didn't really vibe with it, or whatever you want to say. So
It's okay.
it's a good game, though. I mean, it's just not for me.
It's okay. I actually played a lot of games this weekend, which made me really happy.
That's good.
Nice.
It's been a while since I've done that.
Yeah.
I was supposed to do some work last night, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to work. I'm going to play Guardians of the Galaxy.
Treat
Hell yeah.
yourself.
And so I did, and it was nice. And then I did work today during the Browns game. So
Oh, that's fine. They were gonna win. I think it seemed like they were gonna win pretty early on in that game.
I know it just surprises me because the Bengals are like, this is the first year they've actually been like really some sort of contender, and they are, I mean, they lost last week to the Jets, which was hilarious, but
Bengals and the Jets.
God, dude, I'm sorry. I feel okay. So I know I'm making fun of the Jets, and I'm sorry, but I've been a Browns fan for almost 30 years, so I know what you're going through. It will get better eventually. Maybe not next year, maybe not 5 years from now, but eventually, Jets fans, it will get better. I promise.
Their pizza's good.
Yeah, you guys have good pizza. Shut up. Okay.
Yeah.
Also, Jesse, I just want to tell you that the Titans just intercepted the ball and scored on the Rams. So you're welcome.
I have it. I have it down. I have it on my phone. Down in the left.
Man, can't kick this cough. This my kids have been like on and off sick for like 2 or 3 weeks, just on and off sick, coughing, runny nose, fever, crap. This cough just keeps coming back. Like it'll go away for like 3 or 4 days and it just comes back, and it's just like, it's gross.
It's that time of the year.
I know.
Yeah, welcome to fall/winter.
Yep.
School's fault.
Kids are gross. Kids are disgusting.
Yeah, they are.
And I have a kid, so I know.
Yeah. Stephanie allowed to say that. She's a parent. Jesse can too, I guess.
Yeah.
Stoy.
Yeah.
I'm the one that can't.
Yeah,
well,
shut up,
you parent everybody on EXP Cast, so I guess
that's true. Yeah.
they're all giant children.
I do run 3 children.
So
hopefully you don't have my issue of the kids being afraid they're gonna plug up the toilet with toilet paper. So
no,
they throw it in the garbage.
My daughter she refuses to poop on the toilet. So
well, it's I mean that happens, and then eventually, just out of nowhere, they'll decide that it's okay.
Yeah,
there's no training,
dude. She won't poop on the toilet, even if she has to. And like she'll sit down and she'll like, I'll try later. And then like 10 minutes after you put her down for bed, she'll like run up to her door and she'll be like, I pooped. I need changed. I pooped. Like she'll tell you, and it's just like she knows when she has to. But
I was gonna say, hopefully she's not, at least not one of those that goes and hides behind the couch or something and drops a deuce on the ground.
I laugh because it's happened.
Yep, it does. It happens.
Then I took a picture of it for blackmail in like 10 years.
This is going in your yearbook.
I have a picture of my daughter giving me the middle finger.
That's hilarious.
Like 4. It's great. Me and my wife laugh at it, but I'm just like, this will be held for later.
Speaking of the middle finger, this is Arsenal X, the Xbox podcast here on the Boss Rush Network, where each and every week we get together with our friends from around the internet to talk about Xbox and everything we love about it, including news, rumors, new games, Game Pass, and more. Check out Arsenal X live on Sunday nights on twitch.tv/Boss Rush Network at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, or on podcast services and YouTube every Tuesday morning. Follow us on all social media platforms at Boss Rush Network, and you can catch all of our podcast reviews, banter pieces, and more on our website at bossrush.net. Check out our Guardians of the Galaxy review. It's a pretty good one put together by Block and Stephanie, and I wrote a small piece on it as well. So it was a collaborative.
Way to keep a straight face that entire time.
Well, you know what? You guys are over on this monitor, and my script is on this monitor, so I had to do like one of these things. You know,
I do this on purpose to Corey all the time.
He does.
This man does not break. This man does not break.
It's true.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you've podcasted for almost a decade, and people try to mess with you for
Yeah,
years.
Acting 5 and giggling like tea.
I was gonna say that's why he's host now.
Gross.
Gross. It's all
Long
right.
butter.
Hi Yamada.
I'll be fine.
You're fine.
Anyways, we're gonna jump into what we've been playing. You know what, Stephanie? We're gonna start with you since you are our esteemed guest.
Oh, yeah, esteemed is right, because last week Jesse made
Because you decided to join it.
Someone's a little full of herself.
You've decided to join a podcast full of children, so
Hell yeah,
Very
I'm
honored.
esteemed. You guys are a bunch of children, and I'm an adult.
yeah. As I drink my
I
Ghostbusters
drink
beer.
cider. Yeah.
So let's see. Not that it's a new game, but I rolled credits on the Medium because it was my first Game Pass game that I played, and I loved it. Even though I'm just a baby, I can't handle scary games, but I loved it. It was a wicked awesome game, and I really hope that is it Blooper Team that they do come out
Bloober.
with Bloober a sequel at some point because they definitely left it kind of open ended. I'm also still in Far Cry 6. It's my first Far Cry game, but after like hearing people's feedback, not that I'm turned off on playing it. It's just there's less of an urgency of playing it, so I kind of focused more on the medium, and also I've been playing Guardians of the Galaxy as well. So
Nice. I'm so glad that I've found someone else who enjoyed medium as much as I did, because I absolutely love that game. And
Jesse?
everyone,
Jesus.
well, most people like that I've heard talk about it.
I'm not most people.
Have just been pretty bland on it. I'll be honest. I didn't know that I haven't talked about it with you at all.
I a joke to you?
So I guess I didn't know that you enjoyed it too. Sometimes when you're trying to be funny, you're a joke to me.
No, I think they did a fantastic job. Wow.
Wow. Okay. All right. It's like that.
But yeah, I really liked it. Pretty dark story though.
Oh yeah.
Like
that resort, that first part of the game when you're at the resort, I was mortified by what I was seeing. I mean, the setting for the second half of the game for me wasn't as creepy. Like at the hotel, I can think of like that bloodstained pool. I just can't. Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Anyway. Just even the monster chasing you, and then like if you can actually hear and decipher what he's saying to you, and just his voice is just it gets under your skin. Like it's
I was gonna say
creepy crawly. Like
the voice acting and the way they manipulated that voice, it was like the perfect for a demon of whatever. He's called the Maw, I think, and
yeah.
And actually, since you mentioned escape sequence, like that's the other thing, maybe the reason why I didn't mind the medium, because it's not that hard of a game. Like it's not a difficult game to beat, but it's just enough so it keeps you engaged with the gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, that's kind of like Condemned. Like I really like that. I didn't find that game to be super challenging, even though it's like a shooter or whatever. But it's like the same with the medium, where it's just really about the feel that they put you at, like the whole how the story is being told, and like kind of the feel that you get of the game, and less about like really being difficult.
Exactly.
I really like, and the whole split screen stuff was just really neat, and just it took a little getting used to, but it's fun. It was fun.
Yeah, so that's what I've been playing.
Nice. Stoy, what are you playing?
I played Guardians, but it sounds like you have more to say on that than I do, because you obviously beat it.
No,
I imagine. Okay,
no.
All right.
No, I did so for our review on the website. Mine was more of like a performance type.
Okay, got
piece. It wasn't exactly beating the game because I'm only on chapter 5, I think.
Okay. Oh, so we're about the same, I think.
Yeah, I just got to the point. Minor spoilers for Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm at the point where you are in Lady Hellbender's base and trying to like sneak around to save whichever character you decided to sell to her.
Who did you decide to sell?
Groot.
Oh yeah, so did I. Yeah. I actually was like gonna go Rocket the entire way, and then I changed my mind last minute. I was like, yeah, Groot's probably like a better monster. So yeah, but that's kind of the cool thing about that, is that it's just those little like gameplay changes, you know, that those little choices that you can make is like really cool. Like even like just something minor is like you're trying to cross this chasm and like Drac wants to pick up Rocket and throw him over.
Yeah.
And like you could say like, hey, no man, like that's not cool, don't do that. Or yeah, hell yeah, throw him over, you know.
Yeah, I think they did a really great job with kind of doing the choose your own adventure without bashing you over the head with useless stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like a Telltale game, but not, you know, because you'll always get that like Rocket will remember that up in the upper corner.
Yeah.
So I always wonder if that's like kind of like a knock or like a kind of like a little ode to Telltale, because obviously Telltale games made a Guardians of the Galaxy story, which actually was really good. I don't know if you guys played it, but it had really good backstories, especially Rocket's backstory is really good in that game. So it's definitely worth a playthrough if you're a Guardians fan.
Okay.
I mean,
write that down on my list.
Yeah.
I think, to that point, even if you're not a Guardians fan, like I still think that the storytelling is really good.
Yeah.
So,
But I'll let you talk more about that because I think I probably want to talk more about Unpacked. That's a Game Pass game that just came out last week.
ooh,
This game is about unpacking.
Ooh.
That's it.
That's
like
riveting.
get in like a Zen mode.
Yeah, and Stephanie, you hit the nail on the head because you get in a Zen mode where like the game is relaxing to the point where it's like, oh man, just like what do I do with this like alarm clock? Where do I put it? Like how do I shape it? It's like it doesn't matter just as long as you put it in the right place. It doesn't really matter like how you put it or in what arrangement, but like you care. You want it to look good. I mean, deep down, it's like I know, like it doesn't matter where I put it on this desk, just so I could take it out of the box and put it there. But eventually, like I actually care about like how it looks and like how it's positioned. Then all of a sudden, I'm like, maybe I don't like it here, so maybe I'll move it there or something like that. Whatever. It doesn't matter in the game, but like personally, like I felt like I started to care a little bit more. It's weird. Apparently, the game is, it's taking place in phases. So like the first part of the game, you got your own room, so to speak. So like you're setting up all your little kid stuff, all your toys you put on the dressers, and stereo and cassette tapes and stuff like that. And then it progresses like a few years later when you move into your first dorm, and then you're putting your clothes away, and you're putting your your books away, and then you're putting your computer in a different place, and then it progresses even more and more. Like it's kind of following your life in phases, and it's a female you're playing as. I mean, I imagine so because you're putting away her bras and you're putting away. You pull out a box of tampons and you're just like, oh, where does this go? Does this go underneath the sink? Is that where you guys put them? Or do you guys put them like above the? I don't know.
Did you have to flag down your wife for that, honey? What do I do with this?
Hell no! You kidding me? I'd rather die. I'm like, I know where we put it in our bathroom, but like this bathroom doesn't have one of those things. What do we do with it?
Where do these go? Do they go in the tool chest? Or?
Yeah, Hardy, get down here. Come on. You need to tell me. Does this go in the garbage or what? I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know. But yeah, it's so it's got this like really cool like chiptune like lo-fi kind of soundtrack. So it's really relaxing and it's really cool. Like the game is pretty short. I think I'm pretty close to being done from what I understand. So that's why the game is like perfect for Game Pass. Like, I mean, if you want to support indie developers, yeah, go buy the game, because I mean, it's a good, solid, relaxing game, and probably one that you could go back to playing to be like, I want to kind of set things up a little bit differently, or I kind of want to, maybe instead of putting the spoons on the far right, maybe I want to put spoons on the far left.
This is a game just perfect for us aging millennials / was it Gen Xers? I don't know.
Zennials. That's what we're called.
Zennials? All right, there we go.
Well, at least my generation, we're called Zennials. We're between 1978 and 1982.
God, you're old.
Yeah. Ooh. So like we're at that point where it's like we're not old to call ourselves Gen X's, or Gen X's. But then again, we're too stubborn to call ourselves millennials.
And you guys enjoy a video game about putting things away. It's all right. I think I'd like it too.
Zennials. It makes sense.
If it makes you feel better, I just re-downloaded my GOG account so I could play Roller Coaster Tycoon, the original.
Yeah, you're making fun of me because I'm old.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's the only PC game I'll allow myself to play.
If you have Game Pass, this is like perfect. Like, it's such a cool, chill little game. It's something you could probably knock out in a few hours. I knocked out about like an hour and a half of the game. So
nice.
Yeah, this was one of those I seen it, wasn't really interested, and then I did hear actually another podcast talk about it, and just the fact that there is kind of a story somewhat there, makes me a little bit more interested.
Sounds subtle.
Yeah.
It sounds subtle because you start to kind of see the layout of the rooms. Mm-hmm. And you start to see actually kind of a trend in like some of the things that she carries with her throughout her life, like actually the stuffed animals that she carries with her. You start to see those same things pop up, and it's like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like, you want to actually take care of it. Now.
Yeah,
It's
like
so
a
cute. I like the
GameCube.
graphics.
Yeah.
Yeah,
really
doesn't
cool.
she have a GameCube with like GameCube games and stuff at
Yep.
some point? And like,
Yep. And
yeah,
and this girl has 6 controllers. What does she need 6 controllers for? I don't know. But it's like I kept pulling controllers out of boxes.
Mhm.
And it was like, what am I gonna do with all these controllers?
To be fair, I had 8 controllers for my GameCube, so.
And I think she had a Microsoft Zune too at one point.
Hey,
like
Zunes are cool, man. I still have mine.
my
Oh,
wife's got one.
That's great.
Oh.
That's great.
It's awesome. It's the Gears one.
Oh wow, that's actually pretty sick.
It is cool.
Yeah,
It's got the.
That's pretty cool.
It's got the.
I'll give you that one.
I think it's Gears 2. I want to say, because it's got 2 of the cog tags hanging on the back of it. It's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I knocked out a couple hours of the Call of Duty Vanguard campaign,
Ooh, how's that?
and it's really good. It's given me a lot of good Call of Duty 2 vibes. I don't know if you're as old as me and remember when Call of Duty 2 came out. It's given me a lot of those like kind of special forces type World War II missions. It's really cool.
Cool.
It's not just and it's like small team tactical based type stuff. One man army type thing. It's pretty cool, and it's got like a really kind of like good story underneath because it's like the game takes place in the present time. Your team gets captured, and then you go back in time a couple of years to kind of follow the exploits of all the characters in this special forces team. It's pretty cool.
Sick.
But I'm not that far into it to tell you how sick it is. But I'm gonna tell you right now, it is pretty sick.
Nice.
Good.
Like I get the Call of Duty games just for the campaigns. I don't play multiplayer.
You're
Oh.
one of the few.
Yeah, I know I'm one of the few.
Speaking of multiplayer, I did miss one game, if you don't mind jumping in real quick, because I don't
Go for
usually
it.
play multiplayer. And shout out to David Lasby. I actually played Aliens Fireteam Elite with him the other night. And I
Oh,
didn't get him
nice.
killed.
Nice.
Did you get killed?
Yeah.
That's the real question.
No, we did okay. We did the first mission and we just died at like that final stage when like was it Monica or whatever, the alien, the bigger one that you have to take down, because we were playing with a third person, like the randomized whoever they can find online. That person just kept running into he just kept running into the bullets, so it just became harder with just 2 people.
Leroy Jenkins.
This is why I don't play Back for Blood with randos. I'd rather just play by myself.
Yeah, I jump in that occasionally and just do a solo.
I gotta
campaign.
ask Stephanie, did they? I know when I first played, there were like kind of like audio issues with the guns. Did the guns sound better?
I don't know what it was like in the beginning, but it seemed fine to me. Nothing seemed off. Yeah.
It was just like really quiet. Like they didn't like, I don't know. You know the assault rifles in the Aliens movies, they have that distinct sound.
Yep.
And I was expecting like a big punchy feeling to that, and I was like kind of underwhelmed when I played it, like when it first came out. And I wasn't the only one. I talked to quite a few people that were like the same thing. They were like, yeah, it just doesn't feel like Aliens, like the sound. So
possibly you're asking the wrong person though, because I don't usually play a lot of shooters. So
right. Whatever. I'll get back to it eventually. There's just too much to play.
I know.
That's a good problem to have.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm actually I've made myself a new like podcasting and gaming schedule for myself because
Nerd.
here's the thing. I don't play enough games to talk about on shows sometimes.
Well,
so.
technically, from 7 to 8, I have to dedicate the time to Guardians of the Galaxy. And then
Actually,
8
from
10
7 to 8
podcast.
it's usually bath for my children and reading them books and wrestling them into bed, which usually takes till about 8:25 when we start at 8:30. So that's that.
It's fun.
But yeah, I'm like, I gotta play more games. I gotta do more to like, make myself useful on these shows. So,
You're all right.
I'm fine. I contribute sometimes.
You're okay, man. Just yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Jesse,
whatever.
what are you playing?
Okay, so I instead of getting Guardians of the Galaxy, I ended up getting the what is it, like the premium pack or whatever bundle for Forza Horizon 5, so I could play it. Even though I didn't buy the game, only the bundle, it would let you then play the Game Pass version early. So yeah, I've been playing that, and I'm really liking the area and stuff a lot more than the last one. The last one was like in the UK. I mean, it didn't bother me. It was just I like the setting a little bit better. I like they've got like sandstorms and things going on that you can kind of drive through. and then so
You're gonna get
like
his
one of the
copyright
things,
stricken there, Stoy. You sound just
That's
like
why
it.
I'm stopping right there. I'm stopping right there. 15 seconds is that magic number. If it's more than 15
Yep.
seconds, that's where the copyright strikes come in.
But yeah, so the one thing that's kind of interesting that they did, so they don't have ray tracing in this game, and you know, I've seen some people complaining about it, whatever, but the cars, everything looks good when you're driving and when you're playing. Like it does not need it, honestly.
So,
But it
like,
does.
are you playing it on performance mode or quality mode? Because I hear there's like a stark difference in the ray tracing effect,
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
compared to the two. Like, especially with like the reflections on the cars.
yeah. When you're playing on performance, there is a little bit more flatness to you know, like colors and like the light and all that. Like I mean, yeah, it's noticeable, but it's still not awful. It's not bad. um but you know, like the thing is when you're driving, you know, you want that 60 frames per second, and everything's going to be just a blur for the most part anyways. So like it doesn't really need that visual, you know. Now I've been jumping back and forth and playing you know, like whenever I feel like playing it with better visuals, I will, and it's still fine at the 30 frames per second too. It is noticeable, and a little hard to go back to after you're playing it at 60.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, like, you know, like when you're watching, you know, like when you're going at over 200 miles an hour, and you know, like everything's moving really quickly, obviously that 60 frames is going to be much smoother for you to kind of see what, you know, turns you're going to have to make, and you know, and really get your surroundings, you know, ahead of time when you need to brake and things like that. But it honestly, like both ways of playing the game, I've enjoyed. I do think I like the 60 frames per second better.
Okay.
But yeah, like everything, lighting and all that, nothing in the game, lighting wise, is done by ray tracing. It's all software based stuff. Um, so what they did though in this game that's unique is they're using the engine, and like, you know, we heard about this in the beginning. They kind of talked about having a dedicated area of the console that has its own power to pull for audio and for ray tracing and all that kind of stuff. And so what they did in this game is they wanted to use the ray tracing to do it for the audio. So like the way ray tracing works is the, you know, light reflecting off of things. So instead they used it for sound, so you're getting a realistic, so like, you know, like when you're going through a tunnel or something, you'll hear the sounds of your engine like vibrating off the walls and flying back at you, and it will sound louder. So you've got stuff like that going on, and like when you're in the sandstorms that I talked about earlier, like you hear the sand like brushing against your windows, and like it's really cool when you have your headphones on. It's like you're in just a different world. It sounds so cool. It's just you're just getting bombarded with this sound like everywhere, and it's
Are you
really,
playing with a
it's
headset?
really cool.
Are you playing
Yeah,
with a headset?
yeah. Yep, yeah, because I have my headset, and then I have the Adobe Atmos running on my Xbox, so I can get, get the full. Now, I was going to actually ask about that. I don't remember. Was a Dolby Atmos something you have to pay for on this new Xbox?
No.
Too?
I think it is.
No?
I think it's 10. I thought it was like $10 or something.
What?
But if you
To get
purchase,
Dolby Atmos sound? No.
I swear you
I
have
don't
to
know
pay
because
for it at
it's
one
a
point.
setting. It's a setting in your Xbox that you do have to turn on.
Yeah.
In your. Yeah, I don't know. Like I had it on
But
my
I don't
last
think you have to-
Xbox, so I think mine carried over. But
It
I don't
seems
know.
weird
Yeah,
that
like
you shouldn't have to pay for that.
yeah, I don't know.
I remember you used to have to pay for that on Xbox One. It was like $10 to unlock it or something.
Yeah,
But
but,
like after
I'm
that $10,
wondering,
you
though.
unlocked it forever or something.
yeah. But I'm wondering though,
That's wild.
Because I wanna say on this new console though that they may have made it just built in because I think that they were really pushing for that to be their version of what Sony was trying to do.
Yeah.
Like they wanted to go with the Dolby Atmos.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean movies use that. I don't have anything that supports Dolby Vision, which is also something that they now backwards put in Forza Horizon 4, and this one is also going to have support for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like this game, like the world and everything is beautiful. I mean, you're going through
Oh my
areas
God,
with-
you do have to pay for it. What the hell? You have to pay a $15 license.
Mm-hmm. Oh, is it $15
but-
now?
but-
It used to be
Yeah,
10.
it's $15, and that takes care of that's forever basically. To use Dolby
So-
Atmos through headphones on Xbox consoles or PC, you need to purchase a $15 license.
So this
If you
is the
have,
thing,
if you
though.
buy the new Xbox wireless headset, you have access to it at no extra cost until this article was in the summer, so
Yep.
it already.
Yeah,
ended.
I was gonna say, yeah, like usually if you're looking at headsets, and they say supports Dolby Atmos, they usually have a free Dolby Atmos code inside of the container, and then you can unlock it for everything and get it.
Mhm.
So most that's the thing though is the truth is though is you don't need a specific headset to work with Dolby Atmos. The whole point of it is it's the way that the sound is being decoded, and it's able to make it sound like surround sound in any headset. It doesn't matter how crappy it is, doesn't matter how, like it just works. It's pretty impressive. But
That just
yeah,
seems,
so,
it
like-
just seems wild to me that you have to pay for this like license just to have good sound. Like that's just, whatever.
yeah,
It's a business. It's a business.
yeah. And I think when you pay for that too, I don't know if that if it goes across everything or not. Like I think you can then have it on your PC, have it on your everything.
Yeah,
so
it goes across. So.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, like the one thing that's really cool like in this game is I love going through like the Aztec like areas where you've got like run down like pyramids and like like different kinds of ancient civilization like structures and stuff that are kind of left, and it's just a really cool setting. I really like it a lot. Yeah, like, and as far as everything else goes, like I really like, and I don't remember what I did on the last one or if this was even the same way, but so with this one, like if you turn up the difficulty in the settings, like that, like basically what is as you go up in your difficulty, that makes it where you have like less things where it's like helping you with braking or helping you with like that arrows that tell you when you got to brake or when you need to turn and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Like,
that's common in a lot of those games where you can
yeah
turn off a lot of your assists, and that
yeah
helps increase your winnings.
yeah. And so that's what they did on this, and I actually put it on hard just because I wanted to see, I want to be able to feel like how the car is moving like on my own, and know when I need to brake and all that stuff on my own and figure it out. And so I was doing that, and even on hard mode, eventually it's like you're winning too easily. Would you like to increase your like difficulty by 10%? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And I'm still winning way too easily, but it's also early on in the game, so but yeah, I really enjoy like some of the differences of how they did things in this is so like when you unlock cars, like they'll have every brand name of car has its own section.
Every brand name. Oh my god.
Or every whatever.
Stoy just
They
died
have
outside.
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
Okay.
they have
Fine.
they have like a section where it will say like you need to unlock, this many Fords, and then you get this thing that will give you a prize or whatever. And so they've kind of mixed in more ways to get like spins and all that, like get prizes and unlock cars, and they just really upped that a little bit and made it a little bit more easier to get those kinds of things on this game from compared to the last one, I feel like. So like, yeah, I think I have like almost 60 cars unlocked already, and I really haven't put a whole lot of time into it. And mind you, some of those are from the bundle that I got, but I think it's only like maybe 8 of those are from the bundle. So
That's that gaming as
yeah.
a business mentality. They just keep dropping you. You just keep dropping your free stuff like every time.
Yeah.
Keeps you engaged, keeps you kind of coming back for more.
Yeah, which is, is good because, like sometimes you don't want to use this car that you're starting out with, and like it does it enough to give you options for when you're doing races that you can really pick a car that fits like your needs. Like if you're not so great at, doing drifting or whatever, then you're going to want one that's got better handling, but maybe it's not as fast. But yeah,
See, I've never been a real fan of drifting in games, period. Like it's just never been a thing for me. Like I understand the appeal of it. Like even like in the last Forza Horizon games, I never competed in any of the drift competitions. To me, I was always like about like racing, not style.
Yeah, I'm not good at it, but it is really nice when you hit one, hit a good drift around a corner. But yeah,
it is true. Yeah, I'll give you that.
But yeah, I mean, I think once, the people that haven't, gotten a chance to play it yet, once it comes out on Tuesday, I think people are really gonna enjoy this one. Like it's a lot of fun. I think I'm having more fun than I did when 4 came out. So
sick.
Like I like 4, but I definitely think this one's better. So but yeah, that's mostly what I've been playing.
Cool. Sorry, I had a sneeze attack and like my whole face just froze up. I was like, ah.
Did you get the Robert De Niro face too?
Sure. Oh, I'm excited for Forza. I think I'm really gonna dive into this one. I mean, I played a lot. I played a few hours of 4, and I really liked what I played. But then, I don't know, probably some Destiny expansion came out or something, and I don't know, and I just got sidetracked and never finished it. But
honestly, 3 I thought was better than 4. Like
that's what I heard.
4, 4 was like more polished, but like 3's location and the vistas and I think just the overall environment was like much better and like much cooler than
the Hot Wheels expansion was way better than the Lego one too. Way better. Like
I did play the Hot Wheels one.
Yeah, that stuff was so fun. Like they had some really cool Hot Wheels cars. So just one last thing that I just want to say ahead of time. Hopefully it's fixed by the time you guys play it. But they have been having some issues with connectivity on the game. So a lot of times I was having to play solo.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah. So it just wasn't live drive avatars, which is whatever.
No.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
But because like I could actually I played their version of the Battle Royale game that they have, in it that was in the last one. where you drive around and you upgrade your car, and then at the final end, there's you gotta all race to one location, and whoever gets there first wins.
Oh man, that sounds terrible.
It's cool.
Man.
Okay, thank you.
Hmm.
Oh, you don't need. Sorry about that.
Wow. Anyways, well, I've been playing Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, it's exactly the game I wanted. It's a game I've wanted for a long time. I didn't care if it was a Marvel game or not. Just a fun, third-person, character-driven story action game that, allows you to upgrade some stuff. Basically, it's like Marvel Tomb Raider, which is exactly what I wanted with teammates. So, I like it.
That's actually a good correlation. I like that.
Yeah. Which is good because they made the last Tomb Raider game, which is also my favorite Tomb Raider game. So, I know that's an unpopular opinion, but Shadow of the Tomb Raider was very good. I liked it. So
where Lara Croft was the bad guy?
Yeah, kind of. Sort of. Yeah.
I mean, it's like she's the enemy here. What the hell? She just drowned an entire village.
She did.
She's like, but I'm trying to stop the bad guys. No, you are the bad guy.
I mean, that's fair.
These hundreds of people don't have homes because of you.
Wow.
I'm sorry. Every time I think about Shadow of the Tomb Raider, my mind immediately goes to that. I'm sorry.
I mean, that's a fair assessment. That's exactly what happens in the first chapter. So, I mean,
yeah. Pat and I have gone back and forth on that. When that game first came out, we both were playing it. Man, we had wildly different opinions on that. Like, she's trying to save the world. I was like, that doesn't justify kicking hundreds of people out of their homes to find a stupid artifact, and she didn't even get the artifact afterwards.
No.
Yeah.
No.
What the heck?
California would probably say the same thing about kicking all the homeless into one spot, that they're trying to save the city.
Yeah, right. They're trying to save the city. Okay.
I mean, it's like that episode of South Park where all the homeless people started showing up in South Park and they put them all on a bus and sent them to San Francisco.
Well, if you've been to San Francisco, anyway.
No,
sorry.
I second that. I love Guardians. I love the battle mechanics, and I try to figure out which particular character that I usually go to, but I guess it depends, right? I'm still trying to figure it out.
I like the combos that you can come up with too,
yeah.
right? Like I like how
they're actually surprisingly easy to use.
Yeah, I like how Groot can kind of like hold enemies down while you send Gamora and Drax to like stab him in the head, and then you send Drax to go pick up something heavy, and like he can throw that at them, and then if you end up getting like, I don't know, 3 or 4 of them together and you use Groot's hold down mechanic, you can send a grenade in from Rocket. It's like it's a really cool system that they've come up with, and it feels natural. Like, you think in an action game, like slowing it down to issue commands would feel kind of unnatural or whatever. It actually feels really natural and really intuitive, Yeah. Getting the Star-Lord's moves are a little bit trickier because you have to click the left stick down and then you pick them after you pull up your teammates menus. But I honestly don't find myself using Star-Lord's that much, except for like the whatever their version of active reload is in this game. Like
Oh yeah.
Hey, question: how often are you put in a situation where you need to do a team huddle thing?
I've only gotten like 3-ish.
I've done 3. Yeah. And like the third time, I didn't even really need to do it.
Yeah, I just did it because it was there. I'm like, oh, this will be fun. And then I messed it up, and then everybody made fun of me, and I was the only one that was getting a damage boost. So
that same thing happened to me because I was like, oh, I think I missed that.
Yeah.
I know when that first happened to me, I'm like, does this mean I suck? Like, I really wasn't sure why it was happening.
Yeah.
No, it's actually a very unique mechanic because you try to kind of like read the room and you kind of like see the little like speech bubbles that pop up. Like, okay, obviously, like they're talking about being like inadequate and like, this dance party sucks. And it's like, hey, let's show these guys that we're the best dancers here. And it's like, all right, yeah, let's go.
Yeah. I don't know what I missed the last time. I just, like, I saw the words floating and I'm like, oh, this one has those words in it. So I'll pick this one, and it was the wrong one apparently. So,
Oh, that's interesting.
but I didn't look at the other one. It was the first one I noticed. So I was like, oh, that's the one. And I was like, oh no, it's not.
Corey always living on the edge.
I know.
What do you guys think? Because like, I have trouble kind of like understanding if this is good or not. But like, there's a lot of dialogue.
There is,
in this
and
game.
like I heard that, and I was like, oh man, I just want to like play or shoot stuff or roam around the planet and collect stuff. It doesn't bother me. It hasn't
it's
bothered
actually
me
well
yet.
written.
Yeah,
I think it's because it's well written and it's not like cringy.
yeah,
Like it's not Marvel's Avengers cringy.
yeah.
Like
Oh,
listening
man.
to the dialogue in that game, it's like, oof.
Dude, I couldn't after playing this game, I
14-year-olds
could
wrote
not
that.
imagine going back to Avengers like at all.
No. Yeah.
Like at all. It actually makes me really excited for Amy Hennig's game, even though we don't know what character she's using or characters. Some people think it's a Fantastic Four game.
God, I hope not.
I know.
I mean, they've tried to reboot that series, that franchise 3 times, and it's failed 3 times.
Yeah, just let it go.
Yeah, I know.
Take
let it
it. No one wants it.
It's fine. Just let it go.
Yeah.
I feel like there's certain characters that are just stuck in time, like a certain time, right? Like I bet the Fantastic Four were cool in like the 60s or whenever they were invented, right? But like how do you fit like Stretchy Man and Rock Person
And Rock
and
Man.
Invisible Lady, right? Like I mean the only one that's cool is the Human Torch, right? Like he can fly and turn into fire and that'd be cool to use in the game, but like
But even then, his character is kind of douchey.
I know, but
I mean, admittedly, the
it fits
Quicksilver, having Quicksilver as a villain is he was a really good villain. Like, a kind of like a if you're into the whole Thanos, I'm going to destroy your planet kind of thing. But
yeah,
we've got the Incredibles. Good enough.
I mean, yeah,
There
I
you
guess. I hope she gets like, I don't even know who I would want her to have, to be honest with you. Like, I just don't know. I feel like Spider-Man would have been cool for her, but I don't know. I just don't know. Anyways, Guardians of the Galaxy, real fun. I'm in Lady Hellbender's fortress. I'm trying to sneak past all the passed out drunk guards and trying to free Groot because I sold Groot. So
yeah,
that's where I'm at. It's real fun. I'm probably going to play it a little bit after we are done recording if we get done early enough. So
we'll have to see how fast we get through the news.
Yeah, we'll see. It's a lot of news is like, I don't know, probably not a lot of discussion. Although I feel like I missed something. But I'm sure the Sega Microsoft partnership talk will,
Yeah, that'll be
a big discussion, which is kind of our topic of the week. So we might just not do that first and we'll just save it for last. But other than Guardians, I played some Destiny. I played some Halo. I tried to play Forza, and then I was like, oh, well, I didn't buy the super cool pack because I bought Mario Party instead this week. So, whoops. So I didn't get to play that. I'll talk about it next week, even though Jesse kind of laid it all out for us. So,
well, and things will probably change by then. Like I said, there's some small issues, not a lot, but I think they're working on it right now already. They sent an in-game message that they know that there's issues and they're working on it.
yeah, that's fair.
Cool.
All right. Well, let's get into the news, shall we? So
Sounds good.
we're going to skip the Sega and Microsoft partnership thing for now because it's our big topic of the show. We're going to head into 343 has detailed Halo Infinite's Season Pass and how switching between them will work. This is kind of the first time we're seeing that a company have a battle pass that you can switch between, which I think it's cool. I know that battle passes are there to keep you engaged, but I don't think Microsoft really cares about that because it's obviously a free-to-play / Game Pass games and it's Halo. So 343 Industries has released new information about Halo Infinite's Battle Pass system, including how players will be able to switch between the passes. In a new interview with IGN Infinite head of design Jerry Hook and lead progression designer Chris Blom discussed how the game's... Yeah, I said it right. Don't worry.
Sure.
Don't worry. I said it extremely right. How the approach for Battle Passes will work in the free-to-play multiplayer. They said it's aimed at keeping all kinds of players returning to it. Quote, we want to be able to say, hey, look, when you put $10 in, you keep that $10, Hook told IGN. That's alluding to the fact that Battle Passes in Infinite never expire, meaning if you don't finish a given Battle Pass before its associated season is up, you can still work on it in the next season. So that's cool. I think that, I mean, we kind of knew that for a while now. They also said that about every quarter of the Battle Pass will have a legendary cosmetic in it, and that, quote, legendary rated cosmetics will be character canon related or a new type of customization object with special attributes or effects. So
from what I understand, what they're saying is that, when a new Battle Pass comes out, you could still play the old one. You don't have to just automatically upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're shelling out new ones like every quarter, right? So like almost like 4 to 5 times a year.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's kind of cool because it doesn't obligate you to like, okay, I have to shell up like $10 every 3 months or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and $10 is cheap, I feel like.
Honestly, it is. Like even if you're paying that quarterly, like $40 a year isn't terrible, and especially since you're only paying like $10 at a time.
Yeah.
So.
And it's less expensive than Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack. Yeah.
True that.
It's true.
I don't even want to get started.
Oh, sorry, move along.
Save that talk for PAL Block. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Although I did buy it, and I'm excited to play Nintendo 64 games at some point.
Honestly, the first thing I played was Win Back on the Nintendo Switch Online, and that game holds up. I love that game. I would love for them to remake it. Anyway, Microsoft, get on it.
It's fair. Also, the rumor is that the first season pass for Halo will be Halo Reach themed. So
that'd be kind of cool.
It is cool, except they just did that in Master Chief Collection like a season ago. I think season 7 was Halo Reach themed. So, I don't know. I mean, I know a lot of people have a lot of love for that game, but I don't know. I feel like they just did that. So, I don't know. But anybody else have anything to say about Halo Battle Passes before we move on to this next Halo Battle Passes news?
Sure, more Halo. Let's talk.
All right, so speaking of Battle Passes for Halo Master Chief Collection has some amazing 20th anniversary content on the way. I don't know if you guys saw this stuff, but it looks so cool. So basically what they're doing is throughout the rest of the year and into January, they are releasing Halo kind of or Xbox themed content for your Spartans, Halo, like old Halo stuff, unreleased Halo stuff for your Spartans. It's cool.
Bro, you could put an Xbox controller on your back.
No, the Xbox controllers go on your shoulders. The Xbox goes on your back. Okay.
The Xbox goes on your back, bro.
Also, they're releasing. They're releasing
the controller picture.
They're releasing a grunt stuffed animal backpack that you can also wear on your back. So
in real life?
No. Maybe in real life that'd be cool, dude. I mean, they released a fridge, an Xbox fridge. They're gonna release a grunt stuffed animal at some point. I think that
Microsoft loves money.
It's true.
They're gonna put that backpack out in the market.
There's gotta be a meme making fun of it, and then they'll turn it into something real.
Look, I wish they would just put The Rock in a fanny pack on here, because
oh my goodness,
that'd be hilarious, because he revealed the original Xbox with Bill Gates. If anybody remembers that was hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I think one of the coolest armor sets that they're releasing though are 3 armor sets from the original version of Halo 1, which was supposed to be, it went from when they first showed it off for Mac before Microsoft bought Bungie, it was going to be an RTS. And they're releasing they're releasing the Mirage armor from that, and then the third person shooter they thought they were going to be making before they turned it into a first person shooter. They're releasing the Orion armor from that version of Halo 1, which looks really cool as well.
I mean, that's kind of cool. A little bit old to the classics that a lot of people don't know about.
Yeah. The armor is really, really square. It's really ugly, but it's also really cool.
Product of its time.
Yeah.
Product of its time.
Yeah.
Well, it's just nice to, I mean, I guess it makes a lot of sense that, with Xbox celebrating its 20th anniversary, if they were to kind of bring in any franchise to kind of do stuff with, it's going to be Halo. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's their oldest franchise, right? I mean, it makes a lot of sense, including the Halo Series X, which looks awesome. If I didn't already have a Series X, I would have tried my hardest to get that one, but I couldn't bring myself to spend another $500 on an Xbox when I had already purchased 2. So,
yeah.
Also, I think my wife would have shot me in the face.
Oh, just sell one of your kidneys. You'll be fine.
I know.
Or sell one of your kids.
I think the kidneys are worth more at this point.
Yeah, I suppose you're right.
So that's cool. I have been checking out some of the cosmetics. Now they're releasing them throughout the month, so to keep you engaged, they're not releasing them all at once. So
okay,
it's cool.
Yeah, like for example, the Mirage armor is not coming out till the 24th of November. So
that's my birthday. Sweet.
Oh,
looks like I know what I'm playing on my birthday.
Happy early
November, baby.
Happy early birthday.
Old man.
I know. I bought myself Super Mario Party for my birthday, so or not whatever the new one is. Mario Party Superstars, I guess, is what it is. So
I just need a party sub.
Anybody else have anything to say about these Halo anniversaries? Because we're about to get to another anniversary, guys.
Yeah.
Another one.
Yeah, another expensive anniversary game. Oh, man. Bethesda has finally revealed Skyrim Anniversary Edition's price.
Prices.
Yeah, prices, plural. Bethesda has finally revealed how much the Elder Scrolls Skyrim Anniversary Edition will cost, alongside how much it will be to upgrade the Skyrim Special Edition on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. On digital storefront, Skyrim Anniversary Edition will cost $49.99 for a 10-year-old game with new content.
Yep.
But if you already own Skyrim Special Edition, the anniversary upgrade will instead cost $19.99.
Oh, snap.
Add stuff to the already re-released version of Skyrim.
So if you bought it and you want to upgrade it with another $20, you have effectively paid $80 for a game that's 10 years old. Think about that. Think about that.
And here's the thing. It's not coming to Game Pass. And if you only own the version through Game Pass, it doesn't count. Like the Skyrim Special Edition is on Game Pass, but you can't buy the upgrade apparently, at least as of right now, to upgrade it. So
that's an interesting decision.
I wonder if they'll change that.
I would have to imagine that it would be on Game Pass eventually.
Yeah. It's just,
maybe, but as of right now, yeah. So I mean, you could play the bunk version on Game Pass, but
I mean,
if you want that sweet jagged edged 4K 60 frames second edition, nope.
Yeah.
Pony up.
You gotta pay some money.
So, do we know what's coming in the anniversary edition?
Oh God.
Because
you could fish. You can fish in this.
The anniversary edition and the special edition, which is on Game Pass, are both getting Xbox Series upgrades. So what you said? Fishing? That's the upgrade.
Yeah. That's going to be one of the newer things, because I think they're incorporating a lot of the kind of like major mods that were made. There's about 50 or more than 50 mods, like quality of life mods that are going to be in it.
Yeah, thanks Kotaku. It says Skyrim Anniversary Edition includes Skyrim and all 3 DLCs, Dragonborn, Hearthfire, and Dawnguard, all previously released, and a brand new fishing mechanic. Oh, so good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Stoy loves fishing.
I love fishing in games. Oh God, put it like if every game had a fishing game in it. Oh man.
You could just play a fishing game.
Yeah, you could, but like, you could play games with fishing in them too.
I mean, yeah.
Or you can go real fishing.
You can go real fishing.
The only game I ever really enjoyed with fishing in it was Final Fantasy 15. So, I don't play a lot of games with fishing in it.
I don't mind. I didn't mind it in Breath of the Wild and stuff like.
I tried
I forgot
fishing in Red Dead 2 because you can go after legendary animals. But like the way the controls were, and maybe I just suck at fishing in video games, but I really thought my thumb was going to fall off because you have to like, I don't know, just the way the controls were. I'm like, this isn't fun. It hurts.
Yeah.
I don't care about this stupid salmon.
Yeah. Yeah, the fishing in Far Cry is similar to like how it was in like Ocarina of Time and stuff like that, where it's pretty basic. It's just fighting them when they're going a certain direction, and I don't know. I don't. It's not something that bothers me, but I can take it or leave it.
I really don't like fishing in games. I really don't. I'm trying to think like, was there
how you really feel?
Was there any fishing mini game that I really enjoyed? And I'm really trying to think, and no, there has not been. Oh,
wow.
Sorry.
We spent a lot more time on this Skyrim topic than I thought we were going to, even though it was more about fishing than Skyrim.
Yeah, it's more about Stoy's rage.
I know. I'm trying to contain the rage right now. I'm trying to contain it as best as I can. So I'm sorry if I'm flying off the handle right now.
I see it. I can tell. You know, Stoy, just take some deep breaths.
Calm down.
Woosah. There we go. Okay, we're good.
All right, our last story here. Jesse kind of already brought it up, but Xbox has enabled Dolby Vision for Forza Horizon 4 and Horizon 5 on the series consoles. So, not much else to say, but that's cool.
I mean, it's the same as HDR. Like,
yeah, that's another one of those features that I think is extremely overrated is HDR.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it's because HDR looks good, but honestly, HDR and Dolby Vision are almost the same.
I got to tell you though, HDR doesn't always look good.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah,
like Destiny is one of the games on the console that like the HDR sucks, and they've addressed it several times in the like their weekly update for the game. Like several times they're like, yeah, we know HDR is broken in Destiny. We don't really want to fix it because it sucks.
Yeah.
They said just turn it off.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That's funny.
See, I think that's the thing is Dolby Vision is just a better. I think it seems like it works better. It's a little bit more stable than the HDR is or whatever.
Yeah. So.
And it looks like Microsoft Flight Simulator and Psychonauts 2 will be are also supported as well.
Yeah.
With Dolby Vision.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of games that will be supporting it in the coming, months. So
yeah.
One note before we get to pass it on, what's coming to Game Pass, just want to shout out and say happy birthday to Marcus Phoenix in Gears of War, which turns 15 today. The reason I purchased an Xbox 360 was Gears of War, and let me tell you, it was the second game I ever 1K'd. I played a ton of Gears 2 competitively when I was younger, when I had time and, only wanted to play Gears and Halo.
Mm-hmm.
Gears is a franchise that means a lot to me. So happy birthday, Gears of War.
Happy birthday, Gears of War.
15.
So
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
old.
I when I first got my Xbox 360, it was that one and Rainbow Six Vegas. And admittedly, I actually played more Rainbow Six Vegas at the start. And then I was like, well, let me get into this Gears of War thing. And man, I fell in hard after that. So
Yeah, Gears still remains one of my favorite franchises, I think, of all time. And like 5 was exceptional.
yeah,
Um,
5 was really good.
Kate's story is definitely taken front and center, especially towards the end of 4, and obviously 5 is she is front and center. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one's on the top of greatest Xbox games of all time in my opinion.
yeah,
Oh,
for
I
sure.
I love that game.
I know a lot of people point at Sony for their great exclusives for for a long time. I think Gears 5 is. I think if you look at all of Sony's, I mean, granted, we don't like all of them, but if you look at the grand pantheon of things, right, of Sony's great first party exclusives, I think Gears 5, though maybe not as good as some of them, is in that conversation for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if we're gonna find an equal comparison, like in terms of the female heroine, of Kate versus like someone like Aloy, I thought Kate was a better fleshed out character. I thought she had stronger motivations in her story as opposed to Aloy. But I mean, admittedly, Kate had like 2 games to flesh out her story, whereas Aloy really didn't. It was like, I don't know, like I felt more connected with Kate's story and like her motivations going through the game than I did with Aloy. I mean, Horizon Zero Dawn is a great game. Don't get me wrong, one of the best Sony franchises out there. But like, yeah, Gears 5 just I think is much better because of how Kate was written, and even like Laura Bailey's performance as her. I thought she really nailed her character.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I definitely agree.
if you haven't played Gears 4 and 5, at least, I would definitely check it out. All the games are on Game Pass, of course. So,
bro, Gears of War 4, you're racing a motorcycle against a plane.
I know.
Come on.
I know, it's awesome. Oh, my tomatoes.
Yeah, my tomatoes.
Oh God,
I love
the Xbox One era.
I love Old Man Marcus, by the way.
Yeah,
He's the best.
Oh, that was so good. Yeah, that was funny.
All right. Well, while my son is crying, Stoy, it is time for Pass It On. What is on Game Pass this week? Stoy, what can we look forward to on Game Pass?
You want me to talk really loud to try to drown out the sound of your child?
No, because I will mute my
Coming
microphone while you're
November
talking.
9th.
I'm going to mute myself while you're talking.
Okay, all right, cool. So here's something confusing for you. November 9th, you got Football Manager 2022 coming out. And then you got Football Manager 2022, the Xbox edition, coming out on November 9th. I imagine the Xbox edition is a little bit more controller friendly, but this is you're playing the role as like a kind of like the team and the club manager. So you're kind of doing all the back end stuff. You're not actually this isn't like FIFA per se. This is like, you're buying players, you're selling players, you're creating formations, you're doing all this stuff, whatever. So, I mean, it's just like any sports management, So, both of these games are coming November 9th. Also, a little known racing game. I've never heard of this. Jesse, maybe you could shed some light on this. Forza Horizon 5.
Yeah, what's that?
Yeah, I heard a little something about it earlier today.
And apparently there's been 5 of them. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe I missed it.
Are they the ones that Mario and Luigi are in? No, wrong franchise.
No, you're talking Halo.
I think I played one on my PlayStation 1 once.
I don't know. But I think the last time Forza Horizon 4 was out on a system, it was on the Sony GameCube. But yeah, this is going to be the racing game to play this year. Hands down, the racing game to play this year. And this is coming out on the cloud console and the PC on November 9th. November 11th, we're going to see Grand Theft Auto, the original trilogy remaster. But for those that think San Andreas is the best Grand Theft Auto, you're going to get that for free on Game Pass. And that's on November 11th.
Woo!
That's pretty sick. And apparently, like, Facebook is working on a VR game of San Andreas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I heard about that. That's interesting.
The robot said, like, I hope they do that with more Grand Theft Auto games. I'm like, shut up, Mark.
Who said that? What
Mark,
robot?
that, the robot Mark.
Zbot. Zbot, Meta Zbot 4000. The Metaverse.
Yeah, whatever. You see it when you try to like pull up your Facebook now. It's like because of Meta. It's like
I mean when you open Instagram on your phone at the bottom, it says Meta at the bottom.
Yeah,
it's like, oh my god, shut up.
Yeah, right. No
Nobody
kidding.
cares.
So also what's coming out November 11th is One Step from Eden. Now, apparently this is a strategic deck building and real-time action game with roguelike elements.
Deck building like cards.
Yes, like cards.
Oh.
Yeah. And apparently it's a roguelike game. So I can't imagine like sitting in a boardroom to be like, okay, what's our next game? Okay, let's just like throw a bunch of like gaming subgenres on a board and throw darts at the board. Okay, it's card building game. And is it going to be real-time strategy? Yes. Okay. And is it going to be a roguelike game? Yes. All right, perfect. Let's go.
Ooh, those are two genres or types. I don't know. I'm having a hard time imagining this.
Yeah, same. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that are into this kind of stuff, so that's something that you guys will enjoy as well. So, but that's what's coming out this week. I know Microsoft Flight Simulator has a Game of the Year edition that's going to be coming out next week, but that's next week.
Until then, I mean, November is just another heavy-hitting month with games. I do think Forza is going to be the one that people will be talking about, in my personal opinion. But
oh yeah, for sure. And I know like a lot of like especially with the original trilogy of Grand Theft Auto, a lot of people have a much bigger fondness for San Andreas as being the best one out of the three. I think Vice City's the best one, but I will say like San Andreas being free is a pretty big deal. Like it's an awesome deal.
Yeah, I agree with you though. I do like Vice City just because it's just a little different. It's I like, and you gotta love the soundtrack and all that stuff. I mean, 80s.
Oh yeah, for sure. But that's what's coming out for Game Pass this week.
Nice. So
yeah,
Game Pass, still a great deal. I don't know if anybody is still questioning that, Ed, but
I dropped a 14-day code in our Discord room, so I don't know if anyone's claimed it or not. But
if you have
put the
claimed
code up,
thanks.
Let us know so I can take it off.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to get into our main topic, which is also our main news story this week. Sega and Microsoft have entered a strategic partnership for the future of gaming and Sega's, quote, super games. So that's our main topic. I'm going to read the quick story here from Windows Central. This week, Sega announced in a press release. By the way, this got announced the day before or the day after Jesse and I recorded last week. So that's why we didn't talk about it last week. So we made it a point to talk about it this week because it's super important. Mm-hmm. This week, Sega announced in a press release that it is aligning with Microsoft strategically to explore the future of game development. Sega remains a massive company despite being an early casualty of the console war against Nintendo and Sony. Known for franchises like Sonic the Hedgehog, Yakuza, and Football Manager. I'm glad they didn't put, like Persona on there, which is, might be one of their biggest franchises too, but I'll let it slide.
Never heard of it.
Sega is one of Japan's most celebrated publishers worldwide. The firm has been ramping up its collaboration already with Microsoft and Xbox in recent years, and this latest collaboration is the next step. For the sake of discussion, let's try to dissect the PR spiel and get to the bottom of what this could actually mean for both Sega fans and Xbox gamers.
Did you see this GIF on this article of the poorly drawn out?
Yeah, it's funny. It's so funny.
Oh, it's pretty.
It's
I
really
just
good.
keep watching it. Gotta go fast.
I'm going to try to clip that out and use that as the thumbnail this week, actually.
Please do. Please do.
Nice.
Anyways.
Anyway,
Keyword, right? Like strategic alliance, not acquisition. So
yeah, I'm going to jump down here to what it says what it actually means for Xbox, because this up here is all this techno jargon with Azure and cloud gaming and all this crap, which I don't really care about. But what does it mean for Xbox? We're already seeing some fruits of Sega's partnership with Xbox already. Football Manager 2022 has only been announced for Xbox consoles thus far. It's somewhat wild considering Football Manager 2022 is launching on practically everything, including iOS and Android, while sidestepping PlayStation entirely. It will launch directly into GamePass. This is a glimpse at exactly what this partnership means. So how exactly does this benefit Xbox? It's all about building relationships. Football Manager 2022 is almost likely to hit PlayStation eventually, but it seems that Sega is at least prioritizing the development of some of its games on the Xbox platform. Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis is only available on PlayStation in Japan and not the West, where it is exclusive to Xbox consoles. On the flip side, Sega's acclaimed Persona series remains exclusive to PlayStation for reasons not fully known. So there's that. I've seen many people detract from this partnership as meaning nothing for Xbox, and that was my initial assumption too. However, upon closer inspection, you'll notice that this deal was in fact brokered by Xbox rather than Microsoft itself. Microsoft's CVP Sarah Bond for the gaming ecosystem and her team spearheaded this partnership for Xbox and the technologies Xbox is deploying as part of Azure, Microsoft's cloud platform. So it seems like Xbox is, there was a rumor that, right, like Microsoft was going to purchase Sega or at least partner with them for games or whatever. We had a little bit of a conversation in our chat about this, what this could possibly mean. We'll get to this next section in a second, but what do you guys think about this so far?
Sega's had a bad run of trying to create an online, network and service. I think most notably their biggest MMO style game is like Phantasy Star, but trying to find a good platform for it has always been tough. Like, admittedly, they created the Sega Dreamcast, which was their last system that they gave us, and Dreamcast was kind of way ahead of its time, but it was like, I almost think it was like too early. Sega was too ambitious. So trying to find a good partner where they can actually be Sega, I think this is where the deal with Microsoft is kind of going, because Sega's net worth is like $4.9 to $5 billion. For Microsoft to buy a studio or a publisher like that, that's a lot of money, even for Microsoft. So, they would, I think having this strategic partnership where Microsoft just gives them resources to do what they do, I think Sega will start replying them in kind with, okay, hey, this next Yakuza game exclusive to Xbox, or we're going to bring all these Sega library games to Game Pass.
Yeah.
So me personally, I think Xbox is trying to play the long game here.
Yeah, that's what Jesse and I were kind of talking about in our chat too, right? It was like Sega's not afraid to put we saw it with Nintendo Switch Online now. They're not afraid to allow their classic games to be on a subscription service, right? So
yeah,
obviously Genesis is going to live on Switch Online, and now you look at Game Pass, like that opens up a lot of possibilities of their classic Genesis or Dreamcast games that are already available on, either through Xbox Live Arcade or through like on 360 or through the store now. I think this could be I think that could really do something for Sega to build their classic library up on there, and then people recognize the Sega name. Then, with Yakuza maybe being a timed exclusive for Xbox, the next one, or the next Sonic game being a timed exclusive, or being funded a little bit by Xbox to be on Game Pass, right? Like, this could really benefit Sega's classic library, at least. And that's kind of what I'm excited about, is like getting Genesis and Dreamcast games on Game Pass at some point.
Right.
Yeah. Like, see, I look at it this way, is like, the possibility is you could go into Game Pass and it be like, you've got your regular Game Pass games, and then it says, EA library. And then now it could say Sega library, like, and EA does that same thing. A lot of those games you can't play on any other consoles, like they're older, and unless the backwards compatibility is supported, those games can't be played anywhere else except for PC. So, like, I could see them doing that. Like, we could see now your regular Game Pass games, your EA games library, and your Sega library. Like, I could see that, and the, like, you guys, just to touch on like what you were talking about earlier with the whole online stuff. Like, I think there is a possibility that, yeah, like, if they have a good, like, servers and stuff that they could run stuff on, like, yeah, we could potentially have see more of that kind of stuff. And like,
right,
I
if
was
there's
saying,
anyone to partner with, it would be Microsoft, right?
yeah, because
Plus,
right now it's either Microsoft or Amazon or whatever, or like.
I mean, people also forget, I think, that Sega developed Halo Wars 2, right? Creative Assembly is owned by Sega, which, was a very good game. And honestly, if you want a prequel to Halo Infinite to know who the Banished are, you need to play Halo Wars 2, that campaign, because that's where the Banished come from. But yeah, I think Sega, is making a smart move here. I think Microsoft is making a smart move. I think this benefits both parties, extremely, because like Microsoft's been trying to get into the Japanese ecosystem for years, right? I think the only two ways they were going to do that was either through Sega or Square Enix, and obviously Square Enix has a really, really strong partnership with PlayStation, and then some partnership with Nintendo, right? But I think that
being on the Microsoft Azure platform, I think, fits what Sega wants to do, because especially with the Japanese market, it's very the Japanese market relies heavily on like the MMORPGs and the persistent online games, like I said, Phantasy Star Online, games like League of Legends and stuff like that. So to have the Azure like cloud computing platform that Microsoft has is perfect, because I think Phantasy Star Online runs on the Azure platform, which is interesting because it's a PlayStation game.
Yeah. Well, I think PlayStation, it's funny because Sony actually uses Azure as well. Remember, they signed that agreement, 2 years ago, I think? So,
so it makes more sense because, like we said, if Microsoft wants to break into that market, they know that Western audiences like different games than, Eastern audiences in the Japanese market. So Sega's that good partner to have, to where, like I said, thinking of the long game, not only just the classic games, which, a lot of people would love, but, what if they decided to make, a MMO Yakuza game? That would be big, not only in the Japanese market, but even here.
Yeah. MMO Yakuza game, Phantasy Star 3 at some point. There's a lot to, even if they wanted to make some sort of RTS, right? I'm reading here they co-developed Relic co-developed Age of Empires 4, which is a huge hit. So
and I think another thing too that we kind of don't think about as much, but like, there's a reason why Flight Simulator is such a big deal, and how they use the cloud gaming and stuff, so you don't have to upload everything onto your computer. Like it can handle, and I think that is going to be more of a future, I think, than we realize right now, because it's too early. But I think Sega might see that too as well, because once we start getting games that are much bigger, like we're already worrying about how big games are when we're trying to download them on these little, hard drives that we have in our consoles right now. Like that's going to be a big deal too, to be able to learn how to use that technology for games moving forward.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of the attraction too of joining them in a partnership, is because Microsoft's kind of already, in the early stages of learning how to deal with those kinds of issues.
Well, yeah,
So.
buying extra space, it's not cheap.
No, those new two 2 terabyte memory cards are what, like $300?
$400.
Yeah, 400.
Was it you, Corey, like made a comment like you might as well buy another Series X
Yeah.
or S or
Might
something.
as well, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so there's a paragraph here that says, how exactly does this benefit Xbox? I'm just going to read it real quick, and then we can kind of talk about and continue the conversation. It says, so how exactly does this benefit the Xbox? It's all about building relationships. Sega is structured in such a way that its internal teams have a bit more independence than Western corporations may find familiar. Microsoft has also noted that Japan is its fastest growing new market for Xbox user share, while also acknowledging that the lack of support from Japanese developers is hurting the platform among sectors of the Western market. Sega is a company with an enormous amount of clout, and if the partnership bears fruit for Sega, it will broadcast the power of Azure and Xbox GamePass over the other corporations in the region, many of whom Microsoft has historically struggled to crack. So, that, I mean, I was kind of thinking that too, if because Sega, we think of Sega, right? We think of the Genesis and Dreamcast and Sonic and how kind of weird and quirky they were, right? Stoy, you said they were ahead of their time. I would say they were ahead of their time on almost all of their consoles that they put out. Even the Genesis with Sega TV, which was Game Pass before Game Pass existed.
Exactly.
Dreamcast with their online stuff, right? And
Sega CD, I think, was one of the first systems to incorporate CD-ROM technology.
Mm-hmm.
With the Sega CD,
and having modular consoles with the 32X and the Genesis, and having it look like just a ridiculous looking machine under your entertainment center.
the wires behind that 32X was just a nightmare. Good Lord.
You would have I don't know if you guys ever saw that meme of you had the giant Genesis, the Gen 1 Genesis. You had it hooked up to the Sega CD, which came with an extra attachment because the Gen 1 Genesis was wider than the rest of them. So you had that. Then you put the 32X inside, which you had all those wires as well. And then you had the, Sonic and Knuckles. Sitting in the 32X with, Sonic 2 or something sitting inside. So it was just this really crazy looking thing.
Don't forget the Master System.
Don't get me started on the Master System, dude.
Well, no, they had that port you could put into the original Genesis to play the Master System games.
I know.
Yeah, I remember that too.
Yeah. Go ahead, Stoy.
I was just gonna say, Sega's always been kind of ahead of its time, and I don't know if maybe that's why. Like I said, if Sega was interested in the long game, I think they could have maybe won out. If they'd have maybe pumped the brakes a little bit right after Dreamcast come out and just maybe, invested a little bit more money, a little bit more time. But I think, I think they cut their losses a little bit too soon with that. If they had maybe lasted maybe a year or two longer, maybe waited it out a bit, I think we probably still would see Sega systems, but ultimately we're here where we are now. But like I said, I think Microsoft and Sega are trying to play the long game here with getting a new library of games over to the Xbox, not only to benefit the Western developers, but the Western gamers, but more so the the Japanese market.
Yeah,
Yeah, I look at it as like a way for them to almost be their, each other's translator in a way, like, hey, like this is what's going on over here, and like actually have a working partnership where they can give each other pointers and tips about
Well, yeah,
ways
because
to,
Sega
yeah.
needs Microsoft's technology, and
Yeah.
now that they have this strategic partnership, they can probably utilize it more, even with Microsoft's full 100% support to back them up on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not going to be like
Sega.
Frost. It's not going to be like making people use a frostbite and then not telling them how to use it.
EA basically telling them, "Listen, you need to make Mass Effect Andromeda with the frostbite engine." Yeah, but how can we do that? We don't know, but we know you guys can figure it out. All right, see you guys in a year, right?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna read this last paragraph here real quick.
That makes me so sad.
Just to get this out there, and then we can kind of, move into the last part of our conversation here. We're not going to see Sega suddenly abandon other platforms, and we're not going to see exclusive Sonic the Hedgehog games on Xbox. But what we are going to see is preferential treatment, a heap of Xbox Game Pass utilization, and more exclusive partner projects like Age of Empires 4 and Halo Wars 2, all of which envisage a future of device-agnostic game development that scales to hundreds of millions of users rather than tens of millions. This partnership could be a good thing for all concerned, especially Xbox gamers who have never enjoyed this much investment from Microsoft's corporate level. And in some ways, you have Azure to thank, which anchors Xbox in game development as a key pillar in the main driver of Microsoft's corporate growth and shareholder ambitions without screwing consumers in the process. Imagine that. So, just to kind of wrap up my thoughts on this, I think that, in terms of, I think if Microsoft invests in Sega, it's going to grow their, experimental games. It's going to grow their kind of, growth on Xbox. And then, like we were talking about earlier, I think if Sega sees growth here, other companies in the region are going to see this, and maybe we'll see Final Fantasy 17 day and date with the PlayStation version, or we'll see the next Dragon Quest, or we'll see some of these other bigger Japanese companies start giving Xbox more love the same way that they show PlayStation and Nintendo in some ways.
New Jet Set Radio, let's go.
Yeah. Man. Jet Set Radio 3, Xbox exclusive.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I can really add anything else to what you just said, but I do think this is a very wise, solid move that will secure, I think, both companies' futures for the time being. So,
yeah,
I think this benefits Sega more than Microsoft. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I think Sega's getting a damn good deal out of this, and Microsoft is just like, yeah, you can use my house,
Yeah.
just please don't shit everywhere.
Yeah. I'm more like, I'm really interested to see like what happens with Sega's games that aren't on Xbox currently. Also, like, will Persona make its way over? Will these Atlas games make it over? Will Shin Megami Tensei make it over at some point?
I was gonna say,
I think the first thing they should.
Chain.
I think the first thing we should see is Phantasy Star Online head over to Xbox. I think.
It's on Xbox, right? Like, Phantasy Star
the
Online.
Second one?
Yeah.
The second one is.
Yeah, the second one is.
Really? I thought it was.
Yeah, it's free to
Sony.
play.
Yeah, it's free to play.
Free to play.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But to that point, like, if they decide to make it single player, like Phantasy Star 5, right? Like, that would be cool. Or, even if it's like a $20 or $30 kind of indie style game where it's like, what were those games that Square was kind of working on, like Octopath Traveler or I Am Setsuna, that kind of scale for like a Phantasy Star 5 JRPG kind of thing, judging by, I've never really played Phantasy Star except for Phantasy Star Online on Dreamcast, but I did watch Block's game reviews of his reviews of Phantasy Star 1 and 2, and let me tell you, if one of the like a brand new JRPG in the Phantasy Star world showed up on Game Pass one day because Sega decided to make it, I'd be all right with that. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think like one of the biggest things going for them, and the Xbox has really been the brand new love for Yakuza and stuff, and a lot of people who never got to play those games or just didn't really know enough about them to pay attention, getting to play them now, and you hear so many people talk about Yakuza all the time now.
I mean,
it's just something that I never heard.
It's a staple. I mean, it's a staple of Xbox. It's like every time you look at Xbox, you think of Xbox first party. I think you think of a lot of cool, interesting indie games, and I think a lot of people think, "Oh yeah, I forgot that all the Yakuza games are there." Yeah.
Is there a Sega Smash Brothers game?
No, but
I could see them hitting the online fighting game market with like a Sega Smash Brothers style game where it's like,
or like a Sega cross Microsoft Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
So you could see, them trying to kind of copy the Smash Brothers formula, and have like obviously like Master Chief go up against Sonic's already on Smash Brothers, but obviously this is more exclusive to them. But like, yeah, you could get characters like Jet Set Radio, Phantasy Star characters. You get some Yakuza players, even some
rare.
Yeah.
The rare
Streets of Rage.
Yeah,
that would be nice.
That, yeah.
I always forget that Streets of Rage is Sega also. Streets of Rage 4, by the way, was pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, I love the hell out of that game.
Yeah.
One of the best side-scrolling beat 'em ups to have come out recently.
Mm-hmm.
But we all knew
Ninja Turtles comes out.
Yeah, that's right. That throne will be taken soon. But that would be an interesting venture for them, because when I think of like what this means, I think of like, their proposals for like more online focused games, like it would benefit them to like make a game like exclusively to like net their partnership of just like, here we go, we got this like huge online fighting game community, and we're going to give them, Sega All-Stars fighting or something like that, whatever.
What if Xbox brings back Summer Arcade, but it's the Sega Summer Arcade? Because if anyone knows arcade, it's Sega.
Yeah, I mean, Summer of Sega Arcade, like Crazy Taxi would be featured.
Yeah.
Streets of Rage. I guess you could almost put Sega GT or Daytona USA in there.
Well, just like I'm thinking, like, what if even like Microsoft is like, hey, like, if you guys, have any teams who really want to get back to that old school arcade style of games and stuff, like, I mean, a lot of that stuff is becoming more and more popular again. You have a lot of people who are doing like the 16-bit stuff and all that, so like I could definitely see more arcadey style stuff coming back, like Sunset Riders and like like those kind of like shoot 'em up arcade style things, or like just all that stuff.
I really think Sega's thinking bigger. I really think Sega's thinking bigger than this. I mean, that would be nice. I would love that, but I think Sega's thinking bigger than this.
Yeah, I do too, but I also think that Sega's going to look at the short term, they're going to look at the midterm, and they're going to look at the long term. I think the Azure stuff is obviously the long term, but in the short term, they could be like, oh, well, we could release our Sega Ages stuff here. We could do something, maybe in the midterm of like, hey, we're going to re-release like a really cool version of Crazy Taxi, or, what I mean? Like they could do stuff like that while they're investing in their long-term future.
Yeah, and why not? That's like low-hanging fruit, and I'm telling you, the nostalgia market is crazy hot.
Oh yeah,
these days.
As gamers get older, they start having fonder memories of this, and if they want people to continue playing their systems, this is going to be a smart move for them to do that. I don't deny it, but like I said, I think they're thinking grander goals than that.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think both sides are, but that doesn't mean you can't think of the short term and the low hanging fruit either.
Right.
Yeah, because like like how the Microsoft their studios are making smaller games and then bigger games and smaller games. Like I could see Sega like being like, or Microsoft being like, hey, if there's like a small project or something new that you want to do, and aren't quite sure whether you'd want to spend the money, we can help fund it, and have something different that will be a GamePass game or whatever, but we'll make sure that you're taken care of for doing this for us, kind of stuff. And I'll call it right now: Crazy Taxi cars in Forza.
I mean, that'd be really cool.
I guess I never thought of that, but that would be
DLC.
interesting. Yeah.
Maybe instead of like Hot Wheels or Lego, that's the DLC now. It's just Crazy Taxi in Forza.
And you could actually like have a mode where you can actually where you have to drive around and pick people up and bring them to different destinations. That would actually be pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be actually.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll see what's happening with Sega and Microsoft in the future. I'm excited to see some of that stuff, but we're going to wrap this episode of Arsenal X, the Xbox podcast. It's a good episode. It's a good episode. Yeah. Stephanie, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah.
It was great. Good times.
Good times.
Yeah.
Good
Always
times.
awesome talking to you, Steph.
Hey.
Yeah,
I'm not stuck with these chumps all the time.
It's true.
Well, I'll just have to come back another time.
Every Sunday at 8:30.
Yep.
There's a fourth square in here that needs filled. So this little box.
We had so much fun in Chicago. Like I seriously, like I miss like I wish that could have lasted so much longer. Us getting to hang out, it was so much fun.
There's a pharmacist convention thing where I earn my continuing education credits, and it's going to be in Chicago next spring. So I'm like, okay, let's go. I'll just take the entire week and I'll fly out there, and I want to see y'all again.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe I'll make it out this time.
Yeah, that would be awesome, because I still haven't seen you yet, Corey, either.
I know.
In person, so.
The only person out of all of Boss Rush, the only person I've ever met in person is Ed. So
we need to make this happen.
I know.
Yeah.
It'll happen.
It'll happen.
Yep.
So anyways, I want to thank everybody for watching and or listening to this episode of Arsenal X. You can find us every Tuesday morning on your podcast service of choice, or live on Twitch on Sunday nights. You can check us out. Stephanie, where can we find you?
You can find me on the internets, on Twitter at Klimov, KLIMOV_author, and dropping occasional articles on bossrush.net.
Nice. Stoy, where can we find you?
Besides on the Arsenal X podcast, I am also part of the EXPcast podcast. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at EXPcast and interact with us and, talk some shit if you want. I don't care, whatever. Bring it.
Jesse.
You can find me everywhere as Phantom NXS, and make sure you tune in at the end of this episode, because there's a little fun clip for everyone. So
Enjoy.
Oh, jeez. You can find me at I am Corey HD on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me hosting the Boss Rush podcast every Wednesday night live on Twitch right here on Boss Rush Network, or on Mondays on your podcast service of choice. Remember to like, subscribe, share, rate, and review wherever you listen to this podcast. We'd really appreciate it. Leave us those 5 stars. Leave us a nice review. We would love to read it on the show. You can also email us questions at arsenalxpodcast@gmail.com or tweet at us at Boss Rush Network. I want to thank everybody so much for watching, and until next time, we love you. Goodbye.
Bye. For the soul. God, this looks gross.
Stop looking at it.
Stop looking at it.
That's why you just keep it in the can.
I know, but like you can't. I don't know.
I know.
beer-
It's like squashing a bug. You can't look away.
Like if you drink like a Pabst or a Hamm's or a Miller Lite or something like that, you could drink that out of a can. But like something like like a craft beer or something like a sour beer, like you have to drink it out of a glass. I don't know. I think it's because this beer has so much like head in it that you need to release it.
Yeah.
So you need to release the head.
Sorry to say.
You need to release the head. You need to get it out in the open. Okay, let it
Wow.
breathe. Okay, you got to let it breathe, and you have to handle it
With care.
with care.
Oh man.
Welcome to the show, Stephanie.
Please tell me that was our intro.
It's
So glad I'm here.
it's recorded, so
Right.
Woohoo!